Hey there, welcome to another Journey Outside beach metal detecting video. Today we are not actually going to be metal detecting. Instead, I'm going to talk to you about why I'm not upgrading my Nokta Legend to the Nokta Legend 2. It's a bit controversial, I know, but bear with me and let me explain why the decision is right for me, but it might not necessarily be right for you. Let's get into it. And just to be clear, I've had about 100 hours detecting on the Nokta Legend and 0 hours detecting on the Legend 2. So this is by no way a review of the Nokta Legend 2. This is just my opinion on why I'm not upgrading. So remember, I'm not here to sell you anything, I'm just giving you my opinion. So if I had my time again, a Nokta Legend 1 or 2 is definitely the machine I would buy. Hands down, I love the Nokta Legend. It suits my purpose. It lets me go beach detecting. When I'm ready, I can go gold detecting. I can go park and field detecting. It's a very versatile machine. And the new Legend 2 is an upgrade on that. There's no doubt about it. It has some really sweet upgrades. So some of those upgrades include the bone conducting headphones, which I wish were compatible with the Nokta Legend 1, the original, because I would definitely go out and buy those. I think they're awesome. You've also got the additional relics mode on the Legend 2. For those of you that are going out specifically hunting relics, that would be a really big bonus. You've got the extended target ID range. Instead of going from 0 to 60 like the Legend 1 does, it goes from 0 to 90. So that helps you filter out targets a little bit as well. There's a couple of extra coils in there, so those are going to be better, presumably because they're a bit more newer, a bit advanced. So let me tell you why I won't be upgrading. And it all comes down to time and money. You see, I go out beach detecting as a hobby. I'm not doing it full time. I'm not making any money on it. There is no way I have found $1,500 worth of treasure, which is what I outlaid to set myself up with the Nokta Legend 1. Not to mention, the cost of fuel at the moment is astronomical. The amount of money I spend getting to and from the beach is unreal at the moment. So with these improvements of the Legend 2, I'm going to go out, I'm going to spend another $1,500 to buy a new one. Even if I sold my Legend 1, maybe I get $500 for it. It's still at least a $1,000 upgrade. Am I going to find $1,000 worth of additional treasure that I wouldn't find with my Legend 1? I think that's unlikely. At most, if I went out and bought the Legend 2, I'd probably make additional time to go out and do more detecting. And that time would mean I would ultimately find more targets. If I didn't buy the Legend 2 and I just increased the time I was detecting, I would still find more targets, more treasure potentially. So I don't need to make that extra outlay in money. I could just make a little bit more of an outlay in time and get a very similar result. So say I was to go out and buy the Legend 2, I spent $1,500 and I increased my time of coil to the soil or sand, as is often the case for me, from hypothetically, let's say I'm doing 2 hours a week and I double it. I go to 4 hours a week because I'm super excited to get my machine, but there's only so much time I can fit detecting in a day or a week. So I do that 4 hours of detecting a week. I do that for about 3 months, and then the excitement starts to wear off of having a really new machine. So let's say 12 weeks, I've increased my detecting from 2 hours to 4 hours every week. So let's use some basic maths here and say I've spent 12 weeks detecting 4 hours a week, and then the remainder of the year I've done 2 hours a week. So in total, if my maths is correct, I'll try and put the sum on the screen for you, that would be 128 hours of detecting for the year. Now, the average Aussie wage in Australia in 2025 was $1,425. So this fits neatly into our sums here. So assume I'm earning the average Aussie salary. I'm already winning. I'm ahead of all those people who are not earning $1,425 a week. Awesome. So an alternative to buying a second metal detector would be to take a week of leave off of work and go detecting for that week. Now, unlike work, where I have to do my 7.5 hours and then I stop for the day, I love metal detecting. So let's hypothetically assume I'm going to do 2 sessions every day. So let's assume I do 2 4-hour sessions. I charge my batteries in between my sessions. I sort of stop during the warmer parts of the day. Maybe I have to drive to a new location as well. So we'll keep it to 8 hours every day for that week. So I've done a week of 8 hours a day, 56 hours worth of detecting in that 1 week. And then the rest of the year, I go back to my 2 hours of detecting every single week. How do the numbers stack up there? If my maths is correct, I'll try and put the sum on the screen again as well. I would have done 158 hours of detecting. So that's an extra 30 hours above the excited detecting I would do if I hypothetically bought the Legend 2 and then scale it back to my normal detecting rate. So that works out to be almost 25% more time metal detecting, which means theoretically I'll find 25% more targets, 25% more treasure. So based on that, the only reason why I would buy a Legend 2 is so I've got a nice shiny piece of kit. Keep up with the Joneses. Sure, it might locate a few more targets that I wouldn't find with the Legend 1, but it's not really going to justify it. I'm better off taking a week off of work. But what about for you? What does that mean for you in your situation? Now, if you've got a budget of 1,000 Aussie dollars, I would suggest saving up just that little bit more and buy the Legend 1. It's a magical piece of kit. However, if you've got a budget of $1,500 up to $2,000, then the Legend 2 is hands down the way to go for you. If you're a beginner, first starting out, and you don't yet have a detector. Now, for anybody who is looking to go out beach detecting, I highly recommend the Nokta detectors, whether your budget is $1,000 or $1,500. The Legend 1 or the Legend 2, I'm super happy with the way the Nokta works on the beach. I'd highly recommend it to anybody. Now, if you're focusing solely on going out and hunting for gold, then I wouldn't recommend the Noktas. I would use something that is solely targeted at finding gold, that's really dialed in for those gold small nuggets. That would be a better use of your money. Finally, just a little bit of a shameless plug here. If you are a Nokta reseller, looking at you, Detect Ed, and you'd like somebody to review the Nokta 2, I would happily do that for you and put up a video and let people know what the difference is and how I think about the Legend 2, having actually used it. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you do have any questions, leave them in the chat below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.